celebrating Veterans Day by our auxiliary, I'd like to take a moment to remember and honor our past president, Kathleen Tomlin. She was a friend, a mentor, and our past president, as I said, who passed away unexpectedly in July. Her spirit of service to veterans and this community lives on as we continue to uphold the legacy she created of volunteerism, duty, and service to veterans and our community. I would like to thank all who got up early today and placed the flags around our community. And a special thank you to local businessmen and citizens that help with this program with yearly subscriptions. To all that have participated in today's celebration, thank you. You have contributed to honoring our veterans. Everyone, please take time to visit their tables and check out the information they offer. If you are a local veteran, please get connected to one of our 3 veteran organizations, the VFW, the American Legion, and the DAV. If you have questions related to veterans issues, Rick Ward is Bibb County's Veteran Service Officer, and his office is upstairs in this building. The colors will be posted by students from the Los Animas High School Student Council, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem sung by Ron Losey. Please remain standing until the end of the invocation given by VFW Auxiliary Chaplain Pat Gonzalez. Please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we've won were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Would you all please bow your heads for the invocation? Would you all please bow your heads for the invocation? Dear Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to gather today to show our gratitude for our veterans who have sacrificed their lives defending freedom. We recognize and honor the men and women who continue to serve. We know that you see those who are burdened by the physical and emotional scars of their wounds. May the households of our veterans be blessed. May our nation recognize the importance of their sacrifices. We are grateful for the soldiers who serve and have served away from their families so that we may continue to live in freedom with ours. Amen.
We have been having the Veterans Day program, and it started at the Los Angeles High School under the direction of Jim Collins, who is a vet, under Connie Childers and Ryan Clark. And they are so tickled every time they see a Facebook page that it's continuing. People have questions were asking me this year, why aren't you having it at high school? School does not attend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So for 3 years in a row, we usually have it here. So that's why we're here today. And then when they're on an off year and the kids can't do it, then the VFW Auxiliary has picked it up. So for 15 years, I have been doing the history of Veterans Day. So I'm going to see how well you've retained 15 years of this information. So today is called, come on, you do better than that. Veterans Day, okay? And there's 2 days set aside for our veterans. One of them is Memorial Day, and it is for the ones who have had the ultimate sacrifice for the country. And the other one is set to thank the living, which is called Veterans Day. And in Europe, do you remember what it's called? No, it's called Remembrance Day. And so today they're celebrating Remembrance Day. So history begins with World War I, which was known as the Great War, and it ended at the Treaty of Versailles. It was signed on June 28, 1919, outside the town of Versailles, France. However, the fighting had stopped 7 months prior than when the armistice or temporary cessation of fighting. So between the Allied nations and Germany, they went into effect at the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month. And it's so bad that I go to places and they go, oh, you're the 11 lady. And so the number one complaint this year was, how come you said the program was going to start at 10? I said, well, the last time we started at 11, half of you were still outside checking in. So I tricked you this year. Okay. So for that reason, November the 11th of 1918 was regarded as the end of all wars to end all wars. November 1919, President Wilson proclaimed November the 11th the first Armistice Day. Remember? Armistice Day. Congress in 1926 passed a resolution that Armistice Day will be observed in schools, churches, and suitable places. Its original concept was for a day of celebration with parades, and I think Pueblo's having their parade as we speak. Public meetings, brief suspension of businesses beginning at 11 o'clock. On May 13 of 1938, November 11th became the legal national holiday, a day to be dedicated to the cause of world peace. It was a day set aside to honor World War I veterans, but unfortunately, World War I was not the war of all wars, and World War II followed suit with a loss of over 400,000 troops. In 1954, Armistice Day was revised to Veterans Day as an honor to the American veterans of all wars. On June 28, 1968, the Uniform Holiday Bill was passed, in which 4 major holidays, Washington's birthday, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Columbus Day, I think it's now called Indigenous Day, were to be celebrated on a Monday to ensure a 3-day week for federal employees. Veterans Day was moved to the 4th Monday in the month of October. The first Veteran Day observed under this bill was October 25th, 1971. And this change caused so much confusion that they realized that this day was more historical and patriotic in nature. So then on September 20th, 1975, under President Gerald Ford, Veterans Day returned to its original date and finally enacted in 1978. Veterans Day continues to be observed on November, regardless of what day of the week it may fall, at 11 o'clock. I'm a stickler. I know they've had Veterans Day programs up and down the valley from Thursday, Friday, but it's going to be on the 11th day as long as I have anything to do with it. Veterans Day is held at the 11th hour. Where's my little kids? The 11th? At the 11th month. Okay. This is the schools. The schools really get into this. There have been two major holidays, like I said, Memorial Day and Veterans Day. So let's recap. So today is called Veterans Day. It used to be called Armistice Day. And in Europe it is called Remembrance Day. And it is held on the 11th hour on the day of the 11th month. Okay. I want everyone to remember, it is a veteran, not a preacher, who has given us freedom of religion. It is a veteran, not a reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is a veteran, not a poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is a veteran, not a campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to assemble. It is a veteran, not a lawyer, who has given us the right to fair trial. And it is a veteran, not a politician, who has given us the right to vote. For every liberty that we enjoy, we owe a heartfelt thank you to those who've served for this great country. So let us begin to celebrate and honor our veterans. And today's Ron's birthday. He does this for his birthday, and he said he'd shoot you by saying happy birthday. So just you guys count out.
Happy birthday, Ron.
We can have our guards. Our guards can return back to the beginning. At this time, we're going to have the service songs being played. As your service song is being played, please stand. The auxiliary, hospice, and several other ladies have things to give you. Do not sit down until you receive them, okay? So we're going to start out with Arnie. Roses to the spouses. So if you haven't got a rose, please let us know on that also. At this time, I want to release the student council students that can go back and sit down for us. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for your service. At this time, we're going to thank the VFW would like to acknowledge one of our own members who has been doing a lot for our veterans and on Veterans Day. She's not here, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about her because, you know, my mother said I could talk about people when they were in the room. So here's what we're going to do. So it is with heartfelt appreciation that we take a moment to recognize a lifetime member of the VFW Post 2411, Frida Alvarez. Frida is an important part of our community, having lived and worked here for over 60 years. She has contributed to various school and community organizations throughout the years. But perhaps she has given most of her time and energy to champion veterans and veterans' causes. Besides the countless activities and services of the VFW Post 2411 that Frida has supported, she has also provided tokens of gratitude to honor our veterans in our community throughout the past 15 years at the Veterans Day celebration. Frida first began to understand the sacrifice of service members and veterans at a young age when her mom enlisted in the Army to support her family. As a single mother of 2 elementary-age children, Frida's mother knew leaving was going to be a sacrifice, and she had to leave Frida and her brothers in care of others for several years before returning. Perhaps it was her mother's sacrifice that inspired Frida's brothers to enlist and serve in the military. Both examples helped Frida realize the weight service members, veterans, and their families carry. Frida moved to Los Animas to work at Fort Lyon VA Hospital. She was employed in the dietary services where she worked both for and alongside veterans. It was through Fort Lyon and her job that Frida met her cherished husband. Frida's beloved husband, Luis Bugas Alvarez, was also a veteran. After being discharged from the Army, he served in the Colorado National Guard, where he retired after 36 years. Frida shared that Bugas inspired her and instilled in her that she should do whatever she could to honor the veterans in our community. He was proud to serve his country, and he deeply cared about his fellow Guardsmen. And he supported the local National Guardsmen whenever an opportunity would arise. Frida shared to me a saying that Bugas's that she had taken to heart. You don't give up and you don't give in. This is a mantra that could be said to inspire all our men and women in uniform. So we are proud to honor Frida for all her dedication and care she has given to the veterans of our community. So if you see her, she doesn't get out much, tell her thank you.
At this time, I would like to introduce Kathy Moore. And Kathy Moore has been instrumental in making several quilts for Quilts of Valor out of Haswell's. I'm a member. Do you think I know the name of it? No. Anyway, I'm going to bring her up here and let her, and we have two presentations of Quilts of Valor today.
I am a member of Colorado Prairie Quilters. We are based in Haswell, Colorado, and represent 6 counties. I have so far given out 7 quilts this year. Quilts of Valor began in 2003 when founder Catherine Roberts' son was deployed to Iraq. She had a dream about a young man being wrapped in a quilt, changing his demeanor from despair to hope. She felt that quilts equal healing. The quilt has to be machine or hand quilted. It is awarded for service of our nation. It says, you are appreciated. My first one is Billy Deathreach. Most people know him as Billy Bob. Billy was born in Los Animas, Colorado. He left high school in his sophomore year and enlisted in the Navy in 1964, where he obtained his GED. Boot camp was in San Diego, where he was then they were sent to the Gulf of Tonkin as the Vietnamese had attacked the USS Maddox and the USS Turner Joy. The US then bombed the Vietnamese PT boats. The Constellation was returned to Bremerton, Washington for 9 months to dry dock. Billy was assigned to North Island to shore duty for 3 months. He was then on the aircraft carrier USS Hornet in the Gulf of Tonkin for 6 months. He was discharged as boatswain mate 3rd class in 1967. Billy came back to Los Animas and attended Lamar Community College, obtaining an Associate of Science in Electronics. He lived in Colorado Springs for 9 years, installing cable TV. He came back to Los Animas doing cable system install. He retired for 1 year, then went to work at the prison in maintenance for 10 years when he retired for good. His mother signed him up at the VFW Post 2411. He served as a post commander for 2 years and a district commander for 2 years. He's a member of the American Legion, doing color guard for deceased veterans and for holidays. He is also a member of the DAV. He received a Vietnam Service Medal, Bronze Cluster, National Defense Medal, Good Conduct Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal. He recently lost his wife, Joanne, of 43 years. They have 7 children, and according to him, numerous grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Thank you for your service, Billy. Also the U.S. Navy. Ralph was born in, Ralph was born in and graduated from high school in Los Animas. He joined the U.S. Navy after graduation. Boot camp was in San Diego. His first duty station was on Oahu, Hawaii. Isn't that a bad duty station? Submarine base, Pearl Harbor. He worked as a hull tech for structural integrity of welding seams. These were stainless steel and the piping had to be exact. He then went to San Diego on USS Speary as a sub-tender. Submarines are not named, but are numbered. He worked on nuclear subs during his last year of active service, then joined the Naval Reserves for 3 years as Chief Petty Officer. He was deployed to Vietnam 3 times, once on USS Delta, twice on USS Piedmont, the last time picking up South Vietnamese dignitaries and their families, taking them to safety. He received 2 Good Conduct Medals, National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Service Medal. His schooling includes structural welding, non-destructive testing of metals, gamma and X-ray radiography, and ship fitter. He was employed at Intermountain Testing in Denver as a welding inspector for pipelines, water tanks, buildings, commercial airlines, power plants, and nuclear power plants. North American Testing hired him as a manager in Fort Lupton inspecting welding on oil and gas pipelines. The oil is hot, then sent to tanks separating the crude from the gas. He went to Chicago Bridge and Iron doing MAGA flux inspection of oil tanks for leaking. While there, Ralph was on the ladder, which broke. He fell, breaking his tibia, fibula, and shattering his ankle. Because of his injuries, his hours were cut, and he was then fired. He was the first case in Colorado to get compensation with the American with Disabilities Act. It took 3 years. He and his wife Terry moved to Hasty for affordability. He is past commander of the DAV and a member of the VFW due to his mother signing him up as she wanted to play bingo. Ralph and his wife Terry have been married 45 years, have 5 children, 15 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. Thank you for your service, Ralph.
It's not warm enough in here. There you go. The one on this one, my husband and I are also in that Prairie's quilter group, and Nate made that one that had the cell phone going off. And that was the one that my father received when he was still alive. Okay. Okay, at this time we're going to have America the Beautiful by Lynette and Janice. topic about who to honor. And last year we had the opportunity to honor several female veterans that are in our community. Do we have any of them still here? Raise your hand, Terry. There you go. And it was amazing. People were just astonished about how many female veterans we had in our community. Females have a tendency, they get their duty done, come home, and they just melt back in. And people don't really realize that they're around there. So make sure you shake their hands again today. But as we were doing this, we are checking people in. Make sure you've checked in, because this is how we can notify you when we have these kind of programs. And I would ask them what service they were in. I was just in the National Guard. Can you hear that? And that's basically how they sounded too. And I'm like, why was that? You know, I came from a small, living here in Los Animas and having the 947th right there by the swimming pool. I got to see them doing their duties and their drills, and I was always felt like I was pretty safe in Los Animas having a unit here in town. And so my main question is, what is a veteran? Because this is what it is. Today is Veterans Day. A veteran is whether active, this is the definition, whether active duty, honorably discharged, retired, or a reservist, is someone who at one time in his or her life wrote a blank check payable to the United States of America for service up to and including his or her life. Where does it say National Guard? And I kept thinking, what's going on? And so I wanted to find out why people had that kind of attitude towards that. And so this is what I found out about the National Guard. And if anybody's here in the National Guard and I have this wrong, please correct me. I am just a civilian, and I don't understand sometimes military protocol, but I want to make sure that I get this right. So the National Guard is made up of two components: Army National Guard and Air National Guard. And there's over 450,000 soldiers and airmen, so like a 4-to-1 ratio. There's more Army National Guard than there are Air National Guard, to a 4-to-1 ratio. And the National Guard makes up to 44% of our armed forces. Let that sink in. The National Guard, guess when it was formed? Anybody have any clues? 1636. I mean, we weren't even existed here in Los Animas. Okay? And it was started in 1636 as the militia of the North American colonists. The term National Guard became formalized and federalized by the 1903 Militia Act. Every state of the Union, every territory that belongs to the U.S., and Washington, D.C. have their own National Guard unit. Did you know that? National Guardsmen complete basic training, and then they train and drill 1 weekend per month for about 2 weeks during the year. They have been nicknamed the Weekend Warriors, Citizens Militia, and the Minutemen. You know what their motto is? Come on, you National Guards people. Always ready, always there. Say that with me. Always ready, always there. The National Guard swears allegiance to how many constitutions? Their states and the federal. Okay? There's states and the federal. And so their duty is to the state governor, and their duty is to the President of the United States. National Guard plays a major role in the defense and the security of our homeland. Traditionally, National Guard has been the state-level domestic security force, but lately, they have gone through major federal deployments overseas. There are more than 20,000 National Guards deployed around the world on every given day. And there have been more National Guards deployed than there have been since World War II. How many times are you hearing that National Guard in the news every day? Listen to it. We hear about National Guards like every day. They help with medical readiness, like with the COVID pandemic. They help with law enforcement, like in the George Floyd and the DC riots. They help in disaster reliefs, like in Katrina, hurricanes, floods, fires. And they also help in military relief in Iraq, Afghanistan, and recently in Ukraine. And they do an awful lot with drones. And recently, you're hearing in the news, they're helping with border security. But they're not there for to protect the border. They're there for an administration capacity only. So I will ask the question again. Is a National Guardsman a veteran?
Yes.
According to the VA benefits, the answer is no. Now let me verify that, okay? So, and I was just like, what? And so, they do not receive veteran status according to the VA benefits. And this started in 2016. If they served 20 years in the National Guard and were never deployed federally, they are now considered a veteran. Don't you think that's about time? National Guardsmen now, presently, if you serve 6 years and are deployed federally, 180 days, then, and do not get a dishonorable discharge or a bad discharge, you now receive federal status. So how many are here from the 947th? Okay? And a lot of you went to Desert Storm, then you became veteran VA benefit status, correct? Okay. Now this is my opinion, so I'm able to say this. You can yell at me, whatever. In my opinion, the National Guard is going to be playing a big part in the defense and the security close to home. Because of the strife between Israel and Hamas on our homeland soil, because of our unchecked border invasion, and because of more frequent disasters, and mainly because of the low enlistment rate in the armed services, National Guard units are going to become more active and help fill the need to help protect us. I pray that they won't be deployed all over the world when we might need them at home. Today we are going to recognize all who served in the National Guard. And I'm not interested whether you received VA benefit, veteran status, okay? Because I think you're all veterans. I'm going to ask everyone in this room who has served as a veteran, did you complete an entry-level military training? Yes. National Guard, did you?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you wear a uniform or of your branch of service?
Yes.
Yeah. National Guard?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you raise your right hand and swear an oath to enlistment to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic?
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Do you respect and salute the American flag?
Yes.
And finally, did you put your name on that blank check payable to the United States of America with your service and including up to your life?
Yes.
Then you are a veteran in my eyes. At this time, if you have served in the National Guard and I know you've all answered yes to this question. I want all the veterans to come forward. I want to introduce our citizen soldiers. Please come forward and be recognized. Come on, guys. They said
okay? That's okay, right?
This is amazing. Okay, what's your motto, guys? Ready? Always there. That's your motto. Always there, always ready. And we thank you for your service. And I want the ladies to start passing out the stuff that we have, special gifts for you. And I want you to know we need you, and don't you ever say, I was only in the National Guard. Because you are our soldiers. Somebody get a picture of all of them? I did. They should get a flag, a rose,
Yeah, because I'm hungry.
and a thank you from the kids. How many kids? How many do we have up there? How many? 20.
I see forcing to come to us. Well, that's good. Yeah, you want to keep a local. Yeah, he does. But it's good to see you. Well, you know, we're not getting any younger. Do I get a flag? Of course you do. But I want the Mexican flag, not the American. Oh.
Goodbye. Can we have a round of applause for these guys?
We're quite a sale.
Okay, you guys are just serve a meal for the veteran and their spouse. They bring families, and we want you to go out that door. You can, it's made to go, but if you want to stay and visit, the back room is going to be open. We'd love to have you stay and visit and share stories and whatever else. I want you to mention that the Missing Man table was put up by our member, Sandy Malinsky, for all those ones who are not with us today. If you want a Wreaths Across America, you have until November the 17th or 18th. Get your thing in. Program is going to be the second Saturday, 16th of December at Fort Lyon. The auxiliary takes care of 3 cemeteries locally: the Los Animas Cemetery, the Fort Lyon Cemetery, and Peaceful Valley, which is the Smith family cemetery. Please get your Wreaths Across America, get your wreath orders in. Just right there. Yeah, right there. We also have free Bibles on a stick. So if you'd like to go and listen to your Bible, we have different different translations. You can meet the lady up there on the table, pick them up. We go through the Bible. What is it called? The Bible company.
Oh, the Bible Society.
American Bible Association
Society. American Bible Society.
sends us Bibles. So we make sure anybody wants that. Carlos Torres is over there. He's a veteran. He's written a book. Check him out. Hospice, do you have anything else you would like to share? We just thank you for taking care of us in Benton County. Richard, do you have anything to share? Nothing? I just really want you, if you're a veteran, please get connected to a veteran organization. That helps us keep track of you, and it helps us to help you.
Hey, I do have some.
What's that?
I do have some.
Okay.
He's a little veteran, member of the veteran.
For our veteran, he's our veteran service officer. He does help a lot of people out. Please get connected to the VA. Okay? Especially your Vietnam vets, you need to be on the registry. If you haven't done that, please do that. Another thing that's coming up is CAVA, and it is for Colorado Aviation Business, and they send in Christmas food and toys. If you have a need, we don't have very many young veterans in our area, but we the veterans that take care of grandkids. So if you have a need, please let us know, let the ladies over there know, and so we'll get you on the list whenever we come down when CAVA flies in. And it's usually also around the first week of December. I haven't heard anything from them, but it's always nice to come out and see the planes. If you're hooked up to Facebook, please go to the VFW Auxiliary webpage. We try to keep people connected and know things of what's going on in the community. We just recently had Care and Share. We just started on the list and started calling people. If we can't get a hold of you, then I'm sorry, but we want to make sure we get lists of people, know where you're at, so we can call if you need anything. So, is there anything else? If anybody has any questions for us, we are here to help you. We are here because we appreciate what you've done for us. At this time, we want to have everybody to stand. We're going to sing all together, God Bless America. When the song is over, then I'm going to have my honor guard come up, and we are going to retire the colors after the song is done.